Shalom, shalom. My name is Yosef Lopez. I'm very humbled and honored to share a few thoughts with you on this week's Parasha, Debarim. Rabbi Avraham ibn Azra opens up his Pirush on this Sefer in the following way. B'shem dover, tzedek u'magid misharim, v'fareh seder ele hadevarim. And with the help, in the name of the one who tells us true things, reliable things, we'll now expound and spread out our understanding of Parashat Debarim. Parashat Debarim has more than one name. In fact, in rabbinic locution, it is called Mishneh Torah, meaning a repetition of the Torah, or a second Torah. In Latin, this was translated to Deuteronomy, and this is where the English name for the book comes from. My question is, why do we need a fifth book of the Torah that is just repeating what we've already learned? What more to say is there that hasn't already been said? Our Parasha opens up with the following Pisuk. אלה הדברים אשר דיבר משה על כל ישראל בעבר הירדן במדבר בערבה מוסו בין פרן ובין תופל ולבן בחצרות ודי זהב. These are the words that Moses spoke to all of Israel in the Transjordan, in the wilderness, in the Arava, across from Yam Suf, between Paran and Tofel, in Lavan, Hatzerot, Dizahav, these various places are mentioned. It seems to be saying that this is where these words were spoken. Here it was spoken about here and here and here. Haham, Rabbi Elias ben Mozeg, in his Em Lemikra, gives us a different understanding of this opening of this parasha. Ele Devarim isn't just the opening words of Moses' valedictorian speech. It's also coming to include the entirety of our Berith, our covenant, our Chumash that we have read so far. Bereshit and Shemot, Vayikra and Midbar are all included here in these words that are spoken in all these places. All of these places are where we as a nation drafted our berit with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And at Sinai we received the mitzvot. And here, in the plains of Moab, we are going to ratify it. This is the final draft, if you will, of our bilateral covenant with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hacham Jose Faor de Feliz Memoria says in his seminal article, Understanding the Covenant, which I cannot recommend enough. He says, and I quote, "Thus took place an event with no parallels in history, a pact between God and an entire nation. Revelations and pacts between God and individuals are recorded in the Bible, but only at Sinai does God speak and establish a pact with the whole nation. The rest of the commandments of the law God transmitted to Moses during the 40 years of wandering in the desert. And it's at the fields of Moab, before crossing the Jordan into the promised land, Moses and the people ratify with another pact the commandments received previously." And this is what we will see coming up in this Sefer. We'll see a re-ratification of the pact, a restatement of the commandments. We're going to accept upon ourselves this berit. This berith is eternal. It's a berit olam. And we carry it with us. Not only in our libraries, but in our hearts and in our heads and our souls. We are part of it. We read this parasha before Tisha B'Av. As we all know, Tisha B'Av, we are coming to sit on the floor. We fast. We read Kinot. We mourn for the destruction of our temple, for the loss of our national institutions, for our ensuing exile, which has been long and bitter. it could be easy for us to lose focus, to look at our surroundings and see that all hope is lost, and that there is no way forward. But that is simply not true. We have our Torah. Our Torah is a Berit Olam. It is eternal. We maintain our eternal covenant, our eternal Berit with Borei Olam, and despite our state of destruction, we still retain our national character. Our Berit remains intact, and because our Berit remains intact, our eventual redemption remains assured. We read this Parasha out of Tisha B'Av, on the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, as a reminder of that fact. That just as Am Yisrael wandered the desert for 40 years, they were not abandoned by HaKadosh Baruch Hu.